Now can he take Leandro? John Barnes now. Might go all the way for England. Barnes! He scored! And England, amazingly, are into the lead. Wilkins with it. Woodcock making himself available. Pearce there with him. Barnes also available. He got his cross in well. And another one!
And penalty it is. And it's Acosta who will take it. And who scores. Aguilera. Montelongo. Cabrera waiting for the header. And he might now get the chance as Watson. Three waiting for the cross. The crowd stand up expectantly. And they have what they were wanting.
Valvi to sneak in and score. 2 points for Finland and an unhappy start for Northern Ireland, whose squad for next Wednesday's World Cup qualifier against Romania includes a new face, Brighton winger.
And he puts it forward. All sorts of trouble, it's an own goal! And that looks like Jurgelescu, the number 6, who's put it into his own net. And 1-0 for Northern Ireland. Here's Augustine going through, Jennings on, the chance for the chip from Hadji, and it's there. Not in Whiteside. Here we see it again. Whiteside onside, and he makes no mistake. 2-1. Stewart. 2 men with him. Does well. Armstrong's there. 4 for new. It does! And it's there. The cross looked too long. Augustine with the header. Good save from Jennings. And now Kenny Sansom. Wilkins is in there. And Robson! What a goal! At last, the crowd have something to cheer. And it couldn't have been finished in better style.
And exposed, Yugoslavia went 1 goal up. But watch the fight back with this new spirited Scottish team. The equaliser scored only 2 minutes later when Davy Cooper picked it up here and swept this very elegantly home. 1 each. And now watch this delightful 1-2 with the Scottish captain, Graham Souness, playing perhaps the best he's ever played for his team, getting right through there. May have looked offside, but it counted 2-1. Souness the scorer. And now exquisite finishing by Kenny Dalglish, playing as only he can and finishing with that deadly accuracy and making it look oh so easy. 3-1 for Scotland, virtually on the half-time whistle, and looking very good indeed. And Scotland made their intentions quite clear at the start, with Mo Johnson right through here, the goal exposed, or else that could have been 4. But the 4th, not long delayed, as Paul Sturrock, the substitute, rammed that in, emphasising Scotland's brilliant superiority. The next goal by Mo Johnson himself, well deserved. Crossed by Bett from the left, and Johnson very sweetly down. And still more to come. The goal scored by Charlie Nicholas, who came on as a substitute. Mo Johnson's header, and there was Charlie, just flicking it ever so easily over.
Again in the 36th minute, through a clever volley from Jose Ponce. Argentina, in fact, gave a commanding performance, even without their overseas players like Maradona. And in the 57th minute, they scored again. The ball bundled in at the far post by Jorge Burruchaga. One bright note for Beckenbauer was the return to the international team of Felix Magath, who's been in voluntary exile. And from Magath's free kick, his Hamburg teammate Dietmar Jakobs headed West Germany's consolation goal 12
on Wednesday, heading Portugal's winner in Sweden. And of course Mickey Walsh, who showed his striking power in a World Cup context for the Republic of Ireland in Dublin.
Porto now in Italy with Verona, the scorer, in front of a capacity crowd of 45,000 in Copenhagen. The football-loving Danes inspired by Denmark's heroics in the European Championship. Meanwhile, in Group 5, it was another Italian-based striker, Austria's Walter Schachner, giving Hungary a scare in the 26th minute in Budapest. But this powerful header from Nodge was one of 3 goals in a splendid second half for Hungary. They've hardly performed with distinction recently, but Esterházy putting Hungary 2-1 in front. The final goal for the jubilant Hungarians, courtesy of a goalkeeping error following the shot from Kardos. But while the other European nations set out on the long road to Mexico, Italy, of course, have already qualified as holders. And it was 2 of those World Cup winners, Conti's cross for Cabrini's magnificent header, producing the only goal of Italy's first team-building exercise for those 86 finals against Sweden.
The Soviet Union have made a dreadful start to this group, and they followed up their defeat in Dublin by conceding a penalty in Oslo in the 54th minute. Torresen scored from the spot, and Norway were dreaming of a victory like the one over England 3 years ago. But after 75 minutes, the Soviet Union equalised with a fine goal. The scorer was Litovchenko, bringing great relief to the Soviets, who got away with...
Side here, but just wide. 35th minute. Stewart involved again, giving the ball to Nigel Worthington. He drilled over a low cross for new boy Jimmy Quinn to gleefully knock it into the net. His first goal of the season. With bearded midfielder Turk prompting in midfield, Israel... and that man Ian Stewart again had them reeling with a 3rd goal just before half-time. Stewart's low cross measured to perfection for Lee Docherty, making it a dream debut for the youngster.
Against a useful Spanish side who were ahead after only 7 minutes. Rancon scoring on his home ground. Fine goalkeeping by Neville Southall kept Wales in contention until 7 minutes from the end when Carrasco struck a beautifully hit free kick. The poorly placed Welsh wall, though, offered little defence. Gordillo set up the Spaniards' 3rd for the unmarked Bargueno, seconds from the end.
And it's Paul McStay, the youngest Scotsman on the field, gets his first goal for Scotland. Cleanly won by McLeish. McLeish with a layoff to Paul McStay. And a great goal from McStay. Sheer genius from the Celtic midfield player. And Scotland go 2 in front. Willie Miller has Nicola ahead. Beck leaves it for Johnston. Swinson is back. There is Willie Miller, and there's the header. And it's Charlie Nicholas.
Verkouteren, Czerniatinski, Groen, Verkouteren, Groen, prachtig weer. Is er nu iemand? Ja! Nico Klaassen. Ja, ik was dus blijkbaar niet de enige die vond dat het ook tijd werd. Dat er wat zou van komen. Knappe aanval. Groen, Verkouteren, Groen door. Verkouteren wachten tot hij voorbij is. Dan net buiten bereik voor de eerste keer van Moesta. En wie is daar? Nico Klaassen natuurlijk. Zijn eerste internationaal doelpunt voor de Rode Duivels. Het is lang geleden dat de Albanese met zoveel volk op onze 11 zijn geweest. En Omouri schiet hem erin ook. Met nog 20 minuten te spelen. Een prachtige actie van de Albanese. Omouri ziet hem gaan. Op het gepaste ogenblik de dieptepas. De dribbel. En 1-1. Consternatie en groot. Die kan het u zeggen. Kouteren, oudswinger. Van der Rijken met rechtervoetlop. Tegen de lat. En dan nog wel met zijn rechter die lop van René. Voor Dekkers onvrijwillig handspel. Nu de goede voorzet. En wat geeft hij? Strafschop. Dank je. Ja, één ding staat vast. Ravander zal wel nooit met vakantie naar Albanië gaan. Het is de derde man die het moet doen. Tegen de paal. Nico Klaassen. En weer intrappen. Dat wordt normaal geacht. Missen. En men heeft koek gegeten. Schifo! Schifo doet het nog! Oh, eindelijk! Eindelijk! Rondi en weer een goede prestatie qua bedrijvigheid. Nu ook af met een doelpunt. Kijk hoe hoog hij gaat. Mist al de verkeerde voet. En dus 1 minuut na die gemiste strafschop dan toch 2-1. En Thijs zal wel op niet meer gehoopt hebben. Dat zal wel voor hem het belangrijkste zijn. 2 punten, hoe dan ook. Aan de rest kan men nog altijd schaven. En wachten tot iedereen erbij is. Nico Klaassen. En die voordekkers. Goed schot. En 3-1. Daarmee zit we gerust. Klasbak en die voordekkers. Wat zo dikwijls bij Waterschei niet lukt. Na een prachtactie komt er hier wel Nico Klaassen. Goed naar binnen. En dan die voordekkers. Halve volley. Onhoudbaar. En 3-1.
Smolarek. Przed chwilą był z lewej, teraz jest z prawej strony. Dziekanowski na polu karnym. Bunson Dziekanowski! Czyha tam na błąd greckich obrońców Dariusz Dziekanowski. Kofidis. Kofidis, groźnie Kofidis. Mitropulos. Zablokowana piłka przez naszych obrońców, ale jeszcze nie koniec. Gorąco w dalszym ciągu pod naszą bramką. Grecy, strzał z daleka, brawo Kaźmierski. Świetne uderzenie. Kąt. A teraz zostawili tutaj, dostrzegł tę lukę Hadzopoulos. Natychmiastowa decyzja. Semerdidis. Anastopoulos. Mitropoulos z prawej strony. Anastopoulos. I rzut wolny dla greckiej drużyny. Około 25 metrów do bramki Jacka Kaźmierskiego. Vamvakulos, brawo Kaźmierski, fantastyczne obrona polskiego bramkarza. Jeszcze nie koniec, Xantopoulos. I Mitropoulos zdobywa prowadzenie w 34 minucie dla drużyny greckiej. No myślę, proszę Państwa, że wszystkiego się spodziewaliśmy, ale nie takiego obrotu sprawy na stadionie w Zabrzu. Dariusz Kubicki rozpoczyna akcję polskiej drużyny. Dariusz Dziekanowski. Zbigniew Boniek, który wyraźnie czuje się jednak w żywiole w ataku. Zbigniew Boniek, pole karne. Pałasz, długo przyjmował do piłkę Smolarek. Karaś, no, mina trenera techniczka mówi sama za siebie. Greccy obrońcy. Karaś, Diaz. Karaś z lewej strony, niepilnowany. Dostrzegł Smolarka, świetnie zagrany Smolarek. Może przełamią Polacy. Wreszcie jest Smolarek. 16 minuta drugiej części spotkania. Znakomite zagranie Jerzego Diaza. Dostrzegł tam wreszcie lukę w tej obronie greckiej. No i może ciekawszego i zgodnie z naszymi oczekiwaniami, z marzeniami. No może Polacy teraz z większym zębem, z furią, z zaciętością rzucą się do osiągnięcia zwycięstwa w tym meczu. 1-1 Włodzimierz Smolarek. W 61 minucie meczu. Boniek. Z prawej strony Kubicki. Dostrzegł go Zbigniew Boniek. Rozciągnięcie gry. Ale teraz przydałoby się przyspieszenie. Andrzej Pałasz. Żmuda. Z pierwszej piłki. Rzadkość to do Karasia. Natychmiast zagrożenie na polu karnym. Karaś. Dziekanowski. I potem. No wreszcie. Wreszcie po akcji z pierwszej piłki nie było tego długiego rozgrywania. zaś i znakomite uderzenie Dariusza Dziekanowskiego. 7. bramka w reprezentacji, 5. w tym roku. 2-1. No, używając terminologii bokserskiej, oby poszli biało-czerwoni za cios. A teraz to nieważny Dziekanowski przed szansą zdobycia drugiej bramki. Dziekanowski, będzie 3-1. Jest 3-1. No, wreszcie. Miał być wielkim talentem, a potem mu zarzucano, że tego nie potwierdza. Ale teraz z doświadczeniem zawodnika, który ma niemal 8- czy 10-letni staż reprezentacyjny, wyczekał do ostatniego momentu, położył bramkarza i popatrzmy, jak podwyższył na 3-1 dla naszej drużyny.
Paul Jakobsen raced on to Oakland's return pass to score off McDonough's legs. This Group 6 is becoming a succession of 1-0s. 5 of the 6 games so far have ended with that score. And when in Bern, an awful header by Nielsen of Denmark was speedily seized by Barbaris, it meant that Switzerland headed the group. 2 goals, 4 points. Are we seeing a revival of Hungary? But it didn't look like it when they were behind to the Dutch in Rotterdam after 19 minutes. The scorer, Kieft, who plays his football by the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But the Hungarians, winners of their opening match of Group 5 against Austria, were level 6 minutes later. After missed kicks by attackers and defenders alike, Lajos Deteri knew what he was doing. So did Martin Esterhazy, when 10 minutes after the interval, the Dutch, bent on attack, were caught by a long ball and beaten by the speed of a flick. No matter for now that the Hungarians later missed a penalty. West Germany's Group 2 road to Mexico started from Cologne. New boss Franz Beckenbauer had been pretty rude about his star players. But 15 minutes away from a scoreless draw with Sweden, he found a new one, Uwe Rahn. A goal with his first international kick. An inspired substitution difficult to believe, even for the man who made it. 2 minutes from time, the biggest star of all, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, responded with a moment of virtuosity.
Paul Mann had the chance to impress.
By Williams, and Hootanen couldn't hold it. It came off Woodcock. Barnes, it's off the bar. Haitley! Touched on by Robson. Woodcock in behind Finland. Pekkanen on the line. And Woodcock finally forced it in. It's Woodcock's goal. Haitley. Stevens goes outside him, but Haitley doesn't need any help. Finland simply could not stop him. Sanson. And acres of space for John Barnes. Haitley and Brian Robson could simply have walked it over the line. Chamberlain against tired defenders. And it's reached Sansom. 46 times Kenny Sansom's played for England.
Wdowczyk. Boniek. Boniek i bramkarz Musta. Ragami, Bałdzini, i wybicie piłki poza boisko. Na pewno nie jest to futbol widowiskowy, efektowny, pełen płynnych, dynamicznych, szybkich akcji, ale tak się gra w eliminacjach Mistrzostw Europy i Mistrzostw Świata. Drużyna chce przegrać jak najmniejszym stosunkiem, a oto teraz wspaniały strzał z prawej strony głową Włodzimierza Smolarka i oto w 23 minucie Polska obejmuje prowadzenie. Czyżby miała się powtórzyć historia z Zabrza? Zaczął
Smolarek tam popis strzelecki polskiego zespołu i teraz także on zdobywa pierwszą bramkę. Kozłem odbiła się piłka od murawy boiska, co utrudniło interwencję bramkarzowi. Piłkarze albańscy rozgrywają mecze o mistrzostwo swego kraju systemem jesień-wiosna. A więc podobnie jak u nas w pierwszej lidze, jak podaje katowicka Trybuna Robotnicza w specjalnym wydaniu materiałów z Albanii. Pierwsza liga liczy 14 zespołów, w drugiej lidze jest także 14 zespołów, w trzeciej 19 drużyn, ale w sumie w tym ponad 3-milionowym państwie gra ponad 4000 zawodników, z tym, że oprócz tych zespołów ligowych, uwaga, Boniek i Musta, jeszcze dobitka, strzał i jeszcze raz bramkarz albański Perlat Musta. Minga. I proszę Państwa, niestety błąd naszych obrońców. Śmiałe wejście z lewej strony boiska Albańczyków. I rezultat pojedynku 1-1. Zresztą strzał w bardzo trudnej pozycji, udem, czy nawet piętą tutaj podbił piłkę do góry Boniek. Pałasz mocno wypuścił sobie piłkę. Rozpoczyna się ostatni kwadrans tego pojedynku. Mucza. No, proszę Państwa, wróciliśmy z dalekiej podróży, ale oto sensacja. Bo Josa wpisuje się na listę strzelców i Albania prowadzi z Polską 2-1. Dziuba i Minga. Smolarek. Komornicki w pojedynku z Targajem. Aut dla zespołu polskiego. Rzut wolny. Coś nieprawdopodobnego. I w końcu jednak druga bramka dla zespołu polskiego. A zdobywcą tej drugiej bramki był Andrzej Pałasz. Teraz za chwilę Państwo zobaczą tę akcję. Najpierw strzał głową z najbliższej odległości, trafia w nogi bramkarza i jest poprawka Pałasza.
Qui siamo a Mielec in Polonia, dove l'Albania ha costretto i polacchi a un sorprendente pareggio interno, 2-2. Erano andati in vantaggio i polacchi con il gol che stiamo rivedendo, segnato da Smolarek di testa nel primo tempo. Ma nella ripresa c'era il pareggio da parte dei giocatori albanesi, mentre i polacchi con Boni, che l'abbiamo visto, avevano sfiorato il raddoppio. Il pareggio avviene per merito di Minga. Anche questo gol è stato segnato su azione di testa. E poi sempre su azione di testa vanno in vantaggio i giocatori dell'Albania con Kola. Ecco l'azione del raddoppio degli albanesi, la loro gioia, il loro entusiasmo. Solo a 10 minuti dalla fine la squadra di Bonic, che aveva già battuto la Grecia, che insieme al Belgio fa parte dello stesso gruppo, ha pareggiato con questa mischia risolta da Palash. Facile invece il successo della Cecoslovacchia su Malta per 4-0 grazie a una doppietta di Janenka e a un gol di Jarolim e un rigore trasformato da Berger. Per i maltesi si tratta del secondo 0-4 in 2 partite, mentre per la Cecoslovacchia è stato il primo successo dopo la sconfitta che aveva subito in Portogallo nella partita di apertura. Il gruppo 2 delle qualificazioni per i mondiali di Città del Messico è guidato proprio dal Portogallo a punteggio pieno, ma la situazione è assai incerta perché anche Svezia e Germania occidentale fanno parte di questo girone che promuoverà per i mondiali del Messico 2 squadre. Stiamo ancora seguendo le azioni, alcune azioni dei gol, vediamo soltanto 3 dei 4 gol segnati dai giocatori della Cecoslovacchia. L'ultimo gol cecoslovacco è stato segnato su questo calcio di rigore da Berger. Ecco il gol del 4-0.
Told Peter Shilton and company how generously the Turks gave him Finland's second goal in that 2-1 victory. It's a win that puts Finland in good heart for their visit to Belfast next week, bearing in mind they've already beaten Northern Ireland thanks to this goal by Ari Valve in the opening match in Group 3 last May. That got Billy Bingham's team off to a bad start, but they showed against Romania in September they're an entirely different proposition at Windsor Park. Martin O'Neill's sparkling goal, the highlight of a 3-2 victory, the Northern Ireland team ought to emulate on Wednesday. But the Republic of Ireland are outsiders in Group 6 after this defeat in Norway, and their abject away record doesn't bode well for a trip to Denmark.
In the referee's insistence that the Italians' defensive wall be at least 10 yards from the offence. It enabled Breghi to measure his curling dipping shot to perfection.
It'll be Dalglish with the corner. There's McLeish at the near post. Battling for position. O'Connor away from the goal. And it's Johnson. Johnson has scored. And here's Ben. Did well to ride a tackle from Toby. Johnston! Oh, yes. Boris Johnson's second of the game. Vio fouled. And it'll be Camacho with the free kick. Seda and Couture, the 2 central defenders, both come forward. Called it well. Oh, Leighton's lost it. And it's gone in from Couture. Here's Dalglish. Still Dalglish.
Dalla vittoria della Danimarca sull'Eire di Liam Brady per 3-0, il primo gol è di Elkjær Larsen, eccolo. Anche il secondo gol è del veronese servito dal laziale Laudrup, c'era nella formazione anche il pisano Berggren. Il terzo gol è di Lerby, azione personale, bel diagonale di Soren Lerby. Con l'eccellente regia di Herbert Prohaska, l'Austria ha battuto l'Olanda senza Kieft. Un tiro cross di Jara è deviato in autogol da Valke, 1-0. Importante successo della Svezia in Portogallo 3-1, in vantaggio i portoghesi con questo gol di Jordao, pareggio sul rigore di Pritz, poi Jordao si fa parare da Ravelli un altro rigore e invece dalla parte opposta Pritz segna ancora su punizione e la Svezia infligge la prima sconfitta ai portoghesi riscattando la sconfitta interna con un terzo gol di Nilsson su clamoroso errore di disimpegno, stiamo vedendo un rinvio sbagliato, Nilsson ne approfitta, conquista la palla e ancora in diagonale segna il 3-1. Seconda vittoria della Scozia di Souness sulla Spagna per 3-1, gol di Johnston, eccolo, e ancora Johnston sempre di testa realizza il secondo gol. Poi accorcia le distanze per la Spagna Goicoechea, ma infine Dalglish segna una splendida rete su azione personale, anche questa, fissando il punteggio sul 3-1.
Portogallo, rivelazione agli europei e squadra imbattuta del secondo girone, si è fatto superare per 3-1 in casa dalla Svezia, con la quale aveva vinto in trasferta per 1-0. È sicuramente questo il risultato più a sorpresa del mercoledì internazionale. Per il resto c'è da evidenziare l'8-0 con il quale l'Inghilterra di Robson ha battuto ad Istanbul la Turchia e il 3-0 che ha permesso alla Danimarca di bistrattare l'Irlanda di Brady. Nella partita di Copenaghen, Laudrup ed Elkjær in grande evidenza, l'attaccante del Verona ha segnato una magnifica doppietta. Squadre britanniche alla ribalta, Souness ha guidato la Scozia nel vittorioso confronto per 3-1 contro la Spagna, 2 gol di Johnston e terza rete di Dalglish. L'unica rete spagnola è stata messa a segno dal difensore Goicoechea, il nemico numero 1 di Maradona. Il Galles ha vinto 2-1 sull'Islanda, riscattando così la sconfitta subita all'andata a Reykjavik. Rush è questa volta rimasto all'asciutto, reti gallese di Thomas e di Hughes. Grazie a questa autorete di Folk, l'Austria ha battuto l'Olanda e ora può sperare di raggiungere l'Ungheria in testa al quinto girone. Rivediamo questa rete che ha dato la vittoria alla squadra di Prohaska.
A vincere, ma Cipro in effetti ha resistito abbastanza bene, addirittura è passato in vantaggio. Vediamo come.
Cipro è un campo molto difficile.
Difficile anche proprio brutto come campo, infatti
Sì,
forse il pallone tradisce un po' il portiere perché il campo non è perfettamente curato, anche forse è difficile curarlo.
C'è il fotografo che segue il giocatore perché può darsi che a Cipro non fanno tanti gol, allora vuole immortalizzare questo fatto.
Comunque velocissimo Fotis a raccogliere il pallone.
Il portiere sbaglia più che le altre.
Sì. E quando sbaglia si vede inevitabilmente.
Dopo arriviamo al secondo tempo e subito il pareggio con Roth
che ha cominciato l'azione e poi la va a concludere, un triangolo abbastanza bello. Poi rivediamo nella parte conclusiva. Lui ha lanciato il pallone sulla sinistra, lui stesso va a raccogliere questo appoggio di testa.
Sì, il difensore sbaglia.
Non riesce a...
E pareggia. Mi sembra che sono contenti perché perdere 1-0 in Cipro non è che un grosso risultato.
E addirittura a 3 minuti dalla fine, con una vecchia volpe come Nilasi, esperto di tutte le aree di rigore, ecco, approfitta della minima occasione, Nilasi riesce a segnare. E inciampa e cade anche, rischia di farsi male.
Sì. Sono contento come se avesse, perché è andata male la partita, 1-0 per loro e dopo fare gol a 3 minuti alla fine.
Tra l'altro l'Ungheria è ben messa in questo girone, ha vinto 3 partite su 3 ed è davanti all'Austria che ha battuto già, quindi un risultato importante. Ed eccoci al 5-0, questo ti riguarda un po' più direttamente, tra Lussemburgo e Germania Est.
Sì.
Tutto nel secondo tempo, abbiamo visto il primo gol di Ernst, poi qualche reazione dei lussemburghesi che tutto sommato non hanno giocato.
No, le notizie dicevano che potevano
addirittura
vincere 2-0 al primo tempo, dopo il secondo tempo hanno calato fisicamente.
E qui c'è il gol di Minghe, ma c'è stata probabilmente una deviazione di un difensore, anche se la palla probabilmente sarebbe andata in rete lo stesso. Voi avete vinto 4-0.
4-0, loro hanno fatto 5-0. Noi abbiamo fatto 4 gol al primo tempo, loro 5
gol nella ripresa. Questo è un bel gol di testa, siamo al 3-0, ancora Ernst e Minghe si sono divisi i gol. Uno della Dinamo di Berlino, l'altro della Dinamo di Dresda. Ecco un'occasione anche per...
Sì. No, Lussemburgo ha giocato molto bene, poteva sperare qualcosa di meglio. Piccolo campo, dopo fanno sempre gol sulle cross. Noi non possiamo dire che fanno tante giocate come noi le abbiamo fatto contro Lussemburgo, ma è sempre
è ancora un gol di testa.
Sì.
Sfruttano anche la loro predisposizione i giocatori piuttosto alti, sia Ernst che Minghe.
Poca gente al stadio, mi sembra che Lussemburgo sono un po' deluso. Bello gol. Ha toccato il portiere. 5-0.
Ernst. E invece
la Germania aveva perso in casa con la Jugoslavia. Dunque non è che noi giochiamo
ed ecco qualche immagine di Francia-Bulgaria. Un risultato importante, questa è una parata Mikhailov su Stopirà, un risultato importante perché escluso il Lussemburgo delle altre 4 squadre siete i primi che riuscite a vincere una partita in casa.
Sì, giusto, e noi dobbiamo vincere questa partita e la possibilità prossima. È il GC nazionale. Noi dobbiamo prendere 2 punti ancora contro la Germania e saremo a posto.
Comunque dicevamo prima una partita più difficile di quello che forse non si potesse pensare, forse se l'aveste bloccata
un po' di gol.
C'è questo intervento, questo fallo di mano, volontario o involontario, Michel, così a rivederlo adesso.
Intanto ha impedito di Touré di arrivare sul pallone prima del difensore.
Che fa? Hai baciato il pallone, Michel? O così?
Era importante, volevo lasciare calciare un altro giocatore, ma nessuno è venuto, dunque ho calciato.
Ed è il primo rigore che segni
al Parco dei Principi in partita ufficiale.
Ho capito. Poi dopo questo momento forse voi siete un po' calati, prima non eravate riusciti a fare gol, ma
non è che abbiamo calato, ma non abbiamo più attaccati come primo, ci siamo messi un po' davanti alla porta
e sono venuti fuori loro, qui è stato bravo anche Bazzi.
È stato bravo Bazzi, salva sempre la partita.
Questo è Tussaud che è entrato?
Sì, qua rimane, ho visto l'arbitro che diceva che rimaneva 30 secondi, dunque...
Passo avanti, vincendo ieri sera a Parigi al Parco dei Principi contro la Bulgaria per 1-0. La formazione transalpina guidata da Michel Platini si è ripresentata sul terreno che l'aveva vista trionfare nel campionato d'Europa la scorsa estate. Ed è stato proprio lo juventino a siglare l'unico gol che ha dato la vittoria alla Francia al termine di una partita poco brillante sotto il profilo tecnico, ma comunque piuttosto combattuta. Nel primo tempo i francesi non sono riusciti a creare occasioni pericolose, dovendosi preoccupare delle veloci manovre dei bulgari. La rete del successo è venuta al 18° della ripresa, con un calcio di rigore concesso per un fallo di mano in area del difensore bulgaro Markov. Lo rivediamo al rallenti. Questo fallo di mano, eccolo, e quindi la trasformazione di Platini, puntuale, subito dopo. La Francia, grazie a questa vittoria, guida il gruppo 4 davanti a Jugoslavia e Germania Est.
Ordered here for handball against Arabov to give France a narrow victory over a resolute Bulgaria. Inevitably, Michel Platini found the back of the net from the spot, the goal after 62 minutes. But France were grateful to their goalkeeper Joel Batz for protecting that lead. This tremendous save making sure that France held on to two important World Cup points. John in Valletta and Busuttil giving
Schumacher. That was after 11 minutes. And the Tokali Stadium, which incidentally has a grass pitch rather than the sand we've come to expect in Malta, erupted. It wasn't until 2 minutes before the interval that West Germany equalised, a header by Karl-Heinz Förster, which the Maltese keeper Mifsud should have swallowed. The looks from his defenders after that error really say it all, don't they? Anyway, that made it 1-1, and after 69 minutes, West Germany went ahead. The goal is made by Voller, beating his man and crossing beautifully to Klaus Allof's head. 2-1, and it was to be Allofs who sealed victory for West Germany 5 minutes from the end. This time the trickery is by Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, and when his chip is headed against the bar by Rahn, it's Allofs who's on the spot to complete the job. 3-1 to West Germany, and although the flags came out in celebration, there was still a shock in store for Franz Beckenbauer's team, because in the 87th minute, Malta scored a second. Look for Briegel's headed clearance falling nicely into the path of Zerab, whose first-time shot creeps just inside the post. The Malta players' reaction showed they thought an equaliser was on, but it wasn't to be. The final...
De Oostenrijker Vaandler fluit af. Of fluit de wedstrijd op gang. Ronquin. Verkouteren. De Grote. Nico Klaassen niet bij de bal. Jan Kullemans bal. Eerste schot. Ja, die doelman daar in de fout. Wordt dan nog een doelpunt voor Klaassen. Een eerste kans al gevaar. Door een flater van doelman Sarganis. Ja, dat is mooi wat Groen daar doet. Tegenactie met Nico Klaassen, die kan doorgaan. Bal vrij ver van de voet. En dan Sarganis, nu wel klem vast. Maar een uitstekende Nico Klaassen weer. Van Vakulas. Bij Keulemans. Groen is er nu. Ja, en nu Keulemans weer. Schifo, Belgen laten zich niet wegzetten. Schifo, geen buitenspel. Nee, Schifo, dat moet een doelpunt worden. Enzo Schifo. Oh! Prachtig wat de doelman daar doet, Sarganis. Al kan je natuurlijk ook het zo uitleggen dat Schifo te lang wachtte. We gaan nog eens kijken. Duidelijk geen buitenspel. Schifo. Ruimte genoeg. Wacht. Sarganis gaat komen. Wat gebeurt hier? En die gooit zich voor de voet en de bal. Gemist door Schifo. Het doet denken aan de kant van Van den Berg in Frankrijk.
The bribe scandal defenders failed to clear and Joza found the net. The reaction of the 25,000 crowd gives an idea of the popularity of the game in Albania at the moment. And the scenes were repeated 3 minutes from the end. That's when Albania put together a skillful little move. Look in particular for the first time pass that puts Minga clear. And if you're half expecting him to pass inside to the supporting fella, forget it. A low drive beats Faf comprehensively. Albania 2, Belgium 0.
Poor defending by Spain. Kymäläinen, Finland's captain, setting up a simple goal for Mika Lipponen. It took Spain another 15 minutes to equalise. Ricardo Gallego's through pass putting Ippolito Rincon clear to lift the ball past Olli Huutonen. Spain went in front on the half hour through a penalty. Emilio Butragueño brought down. And Butragueño, Real Madrid's exciting young forward, taking the kick and scoring with ease. Rojo from Terry Venables' Barcelona set up Spain's final goal. Butragueño again on target to make it 3-1. But Hungary have been transformed by coach George Meze. And left-back Zoltan Peter scored the game's only goal 75 seconds into the second half. What a soft one too, conceded by Harald Schumacher.
World champions Italy drew a packed house to Dalymount Park. Fans were literally hanging from the rooftops. But the occasion turned sour on Liverpool's Mark Lawrenson. After only 5 minutes, he was adjudged to have fouled Alessandro Altobelli inside the penalty area. Just the start the Italians were looking for in a match they took seriously enough to field 7 of their World Cup winning team. One of them, Paolo Rossi, beat Pat Bonner from the penalty spot, doing a better job there than teammate Cabrini had done in the World Cup final. With Lawrenson off with a dislocated shoulder and Paul McGrath on, the Republic fell further behind to a classic Italian move. Bruno Conti supplied the pass after making the interception, and Altobelli, playing against his inter-clubmate Liam Brady, ran on to finish in a style befitting a man who has scored in the World Cup final itself. 2 down at half-time, it was to the Republic's credit that they replied after 58 minutes with a fine strike by Gary Waddock. Defeat was no disgrace. They'd lost Tony Galvin with a hamstring injury as worrying for Spurs as Lawrenson's shoulder...
Tennis it ball through for Jim Penn. Now can Scotland find a goal here? Douglas. Southall's got it. Rush with the header on. Hughes is almost in. James. Ross. Goal from a master craftsman.
Though the penalty taken by Pierre Litbarski was one of 2 missed by the Germans in the match. But this time, in the aftermath, Felix Magath finally forces the ball in. Three minutes later, and the 1982 World Cup finalists got a third, and it was Rahn again with a diving header at the near post. And already a vastly different story from the meeting in Malta, where West Germany scraped home 3-2. And Litbarski made up for his penalty failure by driving in the 4th. West Germany should have doubled that total by half-time, but they needed the sure touch of Karl-Heinz Rummenigge to make it 5. The misses continued in the second half, with the only score Rummenigge's 43rd international goal, and Malta very lucky indeed to escape with only a 6-0 defeat. In Brussels, a typically well-struck free kick from Belgium's Frankie Verkouteren set up a victory over Greece that Belgium badly needed in Group 1. But the Belgians couldn't relax until 4 minutes from the end. Enzo Schifo, their teenage prodigy, looping his shot over goalkeeper Sarganis. And Belgium celebrating their return.
Van der Eyck voortdurend tussen 2 tegenstanders. Mitropoulos. Kijk hoe gemakkelijk de Grieken het hebben op middenveld. Rustig kijken. Geen buitenspel weer niet. En dat zou de uitsluiting moeten zijn voor Pap. Gelukkig is dat maar geel. Die buitenspeltactiek is gewoon desastreus. De Wolf tegen Anastopoulos. Antonio en weer geen buitenspel. Saravakos. En die lapt hem erin. Nee. Ach mensen toch. De voetbalgoden zijn met ons. Plessers. Van der Eyck in een goede voorzet zou voldoende zijn natuurlijk. Keulmans voor Dekkers, dubbelpas, Verkaal terug. En Sarganis, die geweldig uitkomt alweer, verijdelt de beste Belgische kans in de tweede helft. De Wolf, Keulemans. Ja, ondanks de kille temperatuur geraken de gemoederen nu toch meer en meer verhit. We zijn bijna 25 minuten ver. Een vrije trap. Verkouteren en ergens erin. Dat kan hij dan toch nog, Frankie. Op het beslissende moment. De beslissende fase afronden. 25 minuten gespeeld. Een van zijn kromme ballen rond de muur. Sarganis voor 1 keer verrast, bijna aan de bal. Ja, we mogen het zeggen, een geblijde 1-0 voorsprong. Voordekkers, Keulemans, Chico, maakt hij het goed nu? Ja! Hij maakt het goed. Enzo Chico kreeg ook zo'n enorme kans in Athene. Jawel. De schrik is weg. Op 1 minuut van het einde. Enzo Schifo. Een beetje uit conditie. Wat gebrek aan vertrouwen. Maar deze keer grote klasse. Een stekertje. En helemaal op de valreep. 2-0.
The kick. 6 in the wall. And 6 wasn't enough. Hadji has scored for Romania after 22 minutes. Turkey have made 7 changes since they lost 8-0 to England back in November. Goalkeeper being one of them. Arif recalled. Oh, but what's he done there? What has he done? And he has presented the second goal to Kamataru. After 28 minutes, and there won't be a more bizarre goal surely in the World Cup qualifiers than this. Arif making a terrible nonsense of his clearance, and Kamataru, the centre-forward, who they think will join Benfica next season, has a simple task. Well, 3 minutes left in the first half. This is Hadji for Romania. Hooks a good ball, and Kamataru's in again, and that's 3. His
with a thunderous free kick, but delighted a vociferous 80,000 crowd in Montevideo. Jorge Aravena equalised though for Chile less than 20 minutes later. Few goalkeepers in the world surely would have saved that one. It was a second half penalty too that decided the match. Venancio Ramos, who plays in the French league for Lens, taking Uruguay through to the finals for the first time.
1930 è stata anche la prima squadra a conquistare il diritto di partecipare al campionato del mondo, insieme ovviamente all'Italia, quale detentrice del titolo, e al Messico, paese ospitante. Ha battuto il Cile per 2-1 nel match decisivo. Abbiamo visto il gol con cui è passato in vantaggio con Batista su calcio di punizione. Al Cile, cui bastava il pareggio, ha avuto una reazione e è riuscita a ottenere questo gol del pareggio con un rigore di Aravena, che stiamo rivedendo. Ma nella ripresa per questo fallo su Francescoli arrivava il rigore trasformato da Venancio Ramos, che riportava dopo 2 edizioni fallite l'Uruguay.
Waiters. In Africa. So to Asia, where again World Cup fever spreads far and wide. But a goal has the same galvanizing effect no matter where the country, no matter what the culture. It's unwise now to chuckle at the likes of Hong Kong.
Van Rijken. Groen weer weg. Bijzonder offensief. Grootaert, maar slordig, Keulemans. Van den Berg, Verkouteren. Van den Berg, ja! Oh, een klassiek doelpunt, we spelen precies een half uur. Grote vreugde en een belangrijk doelpunt. Dus van den Berg naar Verkouteren. Van Verkouteren naar Van den Berg. En 1-0. Geweldige inzet. Plesses. Chiffon, Gruun moet dat worden. George Gruun, Chiffon. Van Rijken. Poging om Verkouteren te bereiken. Dat gebeurt. Verkouteren. En die zet erin. Hier krijgen we het zeer ver. Die pas. Al blijft hij lang onderweg. In de werkelijkheid ging dat veel sneller. Dan kopduel. Bal blijft hangen, valt gunstig voor ons. Verkouteren pikt hij mee. En dan de gouden schoen daar. Kijk. En 2-0. De dag van Frankie Verkouteren hier.
Ostrowski. Jałocha. Dziekanowski. Andrzej Buncol, z lewej strony Smolarek. Darek Dziekanowski, dobrze, ma kilka metrów swobody. Dobre zagranie do wychodzącego tam Pawlaka, ofensywne wejście Pawlaka. Pawlak dojdzie, dochodzi, dośrodkowanie i tutaj w ostatniej chwili głowy Polarka piłkę zdejmuje Van der Elst. Ale ładna akcja Polaków w pierwszej części, w 9 minucie meczu. Frankie Van der Elst. Van der Eycken. Do Kulemansa, groźnie. Brawo Józef Młynarczyk, ale jeszcze nie koniec. Dobrze, teraz odepchnęliśmy z ulgą. Pierwsza bardzo niebezpieczna akcja drużyny belgijskiej. Prostopadłe podanie do Kulemansa, którego mają Państwo na swoich monitorach. Raz jeszcze ta akcja. Tymczasem brawo Młynarczyk, powtarzał nam realizator, proszę Państwa. Sytuację sprzed chwilami wiele brakowało, by piłka ugrzęzła w siatce, tylko rzut rożny. Oto Kulemans po raz drugi złożył się do strzału. Nie widzieli tego Państwo, może to nawet i lepiej. Zaoszczędziliście trochę nerwów, poprzeczka po strzale, gry na moment dekoncentracji. Kulemans niepilnowany, Van den Berg, świetnie oddał piłkę do Verkouterena, groźnie Verkouteren, Van den Berg i gol! Moment nieuwagi, tylko moment, proszę Państwa, nieuwagi. 29 minuta. Znakomite, wręcz na pamięć zagrane Van den Berg i Verkouteren. Czy można się dziwić? Grają przecież w jednym klubie. Boniek. Trójka przeciwko czwórce Belgów. Idzie w sukurs Buncol. Boniek, dobre wypuszczenie Buncola przed kalcą. Buncol no strzela, jaj! Szkoda, jaka szkoda, proszę Państwa. Szkoda, że Andrzej Buncol no nie wypuścił mocniej tej piłki obok Munarona, abyśmy byli tacy szczęśliwi. Schifo. No, Belgowie. Myślenie nie jest im obojętne. Widzieli, co się dzieje. Widzieli, że Polacy tutaj kilkakrotnie ruszyli. Bardziej zdecydowanie. A więc już nie ma tego ustawienia w obronie. Groźnie Verkouteren i proszę Państwa 2-0. No, mina Młynarczyka mówi sama za siebie. Zbędne są moje jakiekolwiek słowa. Piąty gol w reprezentacji zawodnika, który był współautorem pierwszej bramki. Błąd teraz Belgów. Zobaczymy, czy nasi potrafią go wykorzystać. Boniek. I no! Po raz trzeci w tej drugiej części spotkania Polacy przed szansą.
Mocno złożył się Zbigniew Boniek, dając próbkę przecież tych możliwości, na które czekamy, które ma, które wierzyliśmy, że pokaże. Popatrzmy raz jeszcze. Jak zaczarowana wolno toczyła się ta piłka. W ostatniej chwili jednak muśnięta przez Munarona wyszła poza bramę. Polacy. Komornicki. Dobre przejście Komornickiego. Bolalek! Munaron.
Long ball again. He's looking for Hughes. Lefebvre, and there's a chance of a Welsh goal, and it's in. Surely. Thank you very much, said Ian Rush. Nicholas is going to take it. James making a near post run. And maybe a chance here. Brilliant! What a goal! It was Hughes. Who else would get a goal like that? The wind holding that ball up. Mark Hughes. Rush is onside. Maybe this is the third. It is. It is. 3-0 to Wales. What
a that the 45 minutes are indeed up. McClelland looking for Whiteside. Yes, Whiteside scores. 45 minutes up on the watch as Norman Whiteside scores his 5th goal for Northern Ireland. Whiteside, Quinn. Quinn's done well. Brotherstone's arriving. Jimmy Nichols kept this in. It's Whiteside. Whiteside gets his 2nd of the evening.
You know, show people that wasn't a flash in the pan and that we were able to capitalise there on a mistake made. And you don't make mistakes like that when that gentleman's around.
When Mr. Ian Rush is around.
That's right, certainly.
The second goal, of course, was somewhat different, shall we call it?
I think this was undoubtedly one of the best goals that anyone could wish to see. And that's just a little bit of genius from Mark Hughes. And when the player's able to score goals of that calibre, then he puts the fear up defenders, and it was just an incredible goal.
And this one, of course, Mike, really shows
the sharpness of Ian Rush.
The pace
there we
of
go.
him, yeah.
He's there, and he makes it look so easy, and that's the hallmark of a man that's got class, and that's what Ian Rush certainly has.
Those were the 3 goals we put up.
When little Pierre Litbarski of Cologne unleashed this thunderbolt for goal number 2. Manager Franz Beckenbauer said his team's victory was perfect, and their dominance produced 4 goals before half-time. This one volleyed into the net by Lothar Matthäus. And West Germany's progression to Mexico from Group 6 is a formality. In Rotterdam, Holland in the dark strip met Austria in a match to decide who'll be the runners-up to Hungary in Group 5. And it was against the run of play that the Dutch opened the scoring through their Italian-based player Kieft after 55 minutes. The runners-up in Group 5 and 1 play off for a place in Mexico. And Austria became favourites for that second chance when Walter Schachner, who also plays in Italy with Torino, scored the equaliser 5 minutes later. Austria and Holland now have the same points, but Austria's last match is home to Cyprus, while Holland are away to Hungary. In Group 1, Belgium in the dark strip are favourites to qualify after beating Poland 2-0 in Brussels. But they've yet to play in Poland, and it could change. Some familiar names were involved in the goals. Van den Berg exchanging passes with Verkouteren to score after 30 minutes. And then in the second half, a most unusual goal. From a massive kick by Van der Eycken, the ball is controlled well by Verkouteren, who makes the goal look easy from a very acute angle.
Russia may have started slowly in their group, but recorded their first win with a 4-0 romp against Switzerland. Just before half-time, with Russia leading 2-0, Georgiy Kondratiev, who nearly didn't play at all, scored his first after a bad goalkeeping mistake by Karl Engel. And then, right on half-time, there was a touch of comedy about his second goal, with a rebound off Engel's foot, a simple header, and a real hope for Russia in Group 6. In Group 4, Yugoslavia are top now after their 1-0